Our 11 Investigates team continues to follow the case involving the murder of two Toledo teens in December of 2022. The bodies of KyShawn Pittman and Kamarion Wilder, they were found in a North Toledo home, and 11 people in all were convicted of being involved. Two men, Brent Kohlhofer and Charles Walker, were sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. But now our team is learning new information, and lead investigator Brian Duggar has the update tonight. Brian?
Yeah, what we're hearing is information that's dramatically different than what was presented at trial. And Charles Walker's attorney believes it could help his client. On June 20th, Judge Thomas Asoic wrote an opinion in an appeal by Carrissa Eames. It said the following facts were undisputed. 3 men wearing masks picked the teens up from Maumee Avenue on December 3rd, 2022. They put them in Cruz Garcia's vehicle and were taken to several locations in Toledo before being killed.
Well, they were put in the trunk at 507 Maumee, and then they were taken several different places. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know of any evidence of that, and I don't know. That didn't come out of trial. If it would have, I'd like to know where'd the information come from.
Now, at trial, Cruz Garcia said he gave the teens to Walker and Kohlhofer, who then put them into Walker's car. He did not say the men were wearing masks. He said he then followed them to Chase Street, where their bodies were later found. Michael Stahl tailored Charles Walker's appeal around that narrative, a narrative that has now changed again.
It's something that we want to find out and track down and make sure we know about, because it's just every time the story changes, it becomes more and more, you have to question, well, what's the real story? Because the state insists there's one real story, that is Charles Walker and Brent Kohlhofer did this, except there's been 15 different stories. And I don't think we got to the truth of the matter in the trial that took place in this case. And that's concerning.
Walker and Kohlhofer were not named in Carrissa Eames' appeal, just masked men. Now, 11 Investigates also talked to the mother of Patrick Yingling, who was in the basement when Kamarion and KyShawn were beaten. He told her he did not see Walker or Kohlhofer. And Stahl's appellate brief focused heavily on a text from Don Eames, which indicated the boys were killed at 507 Maumee and not picked up by Walker or Kohlhofer. We have also obtained a letter from Eames to Kohlhofer, where he apologizes about lying to police about the men's involvement.
I mean, something happened December 3rd. I don't think I know what that is, and I'm a little bit concerned that I don't know that the prosecutors know what that is either, but I know Chuck Walker's in prison for life over it, and I think that's a problem.
Don and Carrissa Eames, who each had information that could have helped defense attorneys, invoked their Fifth Amendment right to remain silent at trial and received plea deals from the prosecutor's office.
And then Don Eames ultimately getting a plea deal and then not testifying. I have a concern about that, and I think it's something that the courts need to address, whether that's appropriate.
The news story of the boys being taken to several locations also seems to add credibility to statements that were made to me by Walker and Kohlhofer, that they wouldn't kill the boys in the Chase Street neighborhood where they lived. If there were multiple stops on that night, there would have been other options for disposing of the bodies.
Why would I do that? When my whole business is ran out of there. My mom is across the street. My uncle is next door. You know what I'm saying? My nieces and nephews run in and out that street all day, every day long. Wouldn't even make no sense.
Why would I go grab 2 kids from the south side of Toledo, bring them all the way to the north side of Toledo, to put them dead across the street from my house? There's probably, 10,000 abandoned houses in Toledo, and I chose the one dead across the street from my house. That don't make sense to me.
Both Walker and Kohlhofer are waiting to hear from the 6th District Court of Appeals, but Stahl believes there are enough questions that they deserve new trials.
My biggest problem with this case is I don't have any real idea what happened. I think there's a significant amount of evidence that points to either by accident or design. At least one of those kids died in the basement of 507 Maumee. And I don't think that was explored, and I don't think that it was investigated fully.
I asked the prosecutor's office for clarification on what they now believe happened. Again, this undisputed narrative is much different than what was said at trial. And I received an email this afternoon from the office of Julia Bates saying they would have no comment while appeals are ongoing. Reporting in studio, this is Brian Duggar for 11 Investigates.